Hey up everybody, I'm just doing a bit of maintenance work on my dial indicators. Long overdue this. It's something that I've been meaning to do for a long time, and it's something that gets put to back at list, isn't it? So I've had all my dial indicators, I've brought them in and I've got them on tables spread out, and I'll just quickly run through them before I go on to video that I'm going to show you regarding this one. Just before I continue with this video, I've had this sticker come here from Nobby's workshop. Now, Nobby's quite new to YouTube and I've only just recently dropped onto him. He does some interesting videos. I'm working my way through his videos at this particular time, and in his earlier videos which I've seen, he's got his workshop set up with all his little machines in, and he's done a lot of modifications, and he explains, you know, all the modifications he's done to make his machines better. Plus other things, you know, there's other things. It's quite new to YouTube, so if you could go over and give Nobby's workshop a bit of support, I'd appreciate that. So I'll get this up on board then, Nobby, and I'll see you next time. So I've got a MPJ bore gauge one here, that's working perfectly. I've got a Mercer one, that's working perfectly. This one, I've had to do a bit of maintenance on this one. It's a RS Batty one. It was sticking, so I've took the back off and I've just cleaned this plunger thoroughly, and it's working perfectly now. Now this one here, I can't recognise that logo that's printed on it, the make, but it's made in England. Yeah, and that works okay. Then I've got this Starrett one in its case, and everything's complete with all its attachments. Then I've got these little, they're not dial gauges, but they are indicators. They're vintage indicators, aren't they? They just got a plunger on the side. So I do use it occasionally. This one's pretty much similar, but this one, as well as having the indicator on the front, it's also got markings on the other side in that window. Then I've got two verdict ones with the fingers. They've got fingers on these instead of the normal plungers. This one works perfectly, and it's also got a switch on it to reverse the direction, so you can either come up or down with that one. And that's a verdict one. And then I've got this other verdict one that I've had for, well, I must have had it 20 years. I picked it up at a flea market, I think. It wasn't very dear, and that's the same make, verdict, but it's never worked properly. And I've been meaning to look at it, you know, time after time, but I've never got around to it because I've got all these others to use. But I thought, because this one's a bit smaller than the others, I thought of using this one on my micro lathe that I'm building, and make some adapters for it to fit on my micro lathe. So that's given me incentive now to have a look at it. So I'm not quite sure what's up with this, but it's actually it's working in the wrong direction. You've got to press down on it. I think you should press up on it. It never goes back to zero. It could be one of probably three things. It could be just clogged up with congealed oil. or it could be the spring that's either come off or faulty. Or what's the third thing I was thinking on? Maybe it's gone rusty. I've just took 2 screws out off camera, but I'll just take this last screw out and have a look. Well, plate's not corroded on the inside. It don't look as though it's corroded. But it's just not springing, is it? So what you've got in here, by the look of it, is you've got the arm that works on this pivot, and then at the back of that arm there's a very tiny, you perhaps can't see it on camera, it comes off this pivot here. There's a very tiny, like a hairspring, on that other pivot point that comes through here. So that's providing the tension, I think. Then you've got this this thing here that looks like a spring, but it's not a spring. It's to convert the linear movement into a radial movement, I think. Well, I'm not sure, but that's what I think. It's working both ways, and it should only work one way, this, because it's not got a changeover switch. Alright, I'm just gonna take camera off. A few minutes for me, few seconds for you, just while I have a study at this. Right, I've had half an hour faffing around with this because I don't want to damage it. The coils on that, this arm has got to be at the top here, so for some reason, maybe it's been dropped, I don't know, this peg on this lever has got to be in this top gap of that spring, and at the moment it's in the middle one. So what I've done then, while I'm off camera, I've just gently levered this upwards to bring that peg out of the spring. Don't know if I can do it with one hand. And it's got to be moved up one of them coils. That's it. Got it. So before I adjusted that upwards into the next slot in that spring, I was having to press it down to operate it, but now I have to press it up, which is correct. And it seems to be zeroing now. Not quite, is it? Still sticking. It's better. I'll just have another look at this off camera. Right. What I've got to do, I've got to move it up another notch. So I'll have gone up 2 notches. I've only gone up 1 at the moment. So I'll try and do it on camera, but I need 3 hands really. I've got to hold that down. I've got to hold that spring down, lift the lever out of the notch so it goes up another notch there. That's better. So it's got more tension now. Let's have a look. That's better. I think that's cured it then now. So in my case, this lever had slipped down 2 notches. And that's made it perfect now. So maybe somebody's either had it to pieces before me and not put it back properly, or maybe it's got dropped on floor and it's just the shocks just move that lever out of position. I don't know how it could have do that though, because when this plate's on, this lever can't come up. So I'm not quite sure, but anyway, it's working properly now. So I'll just get this cover put back. That's it, job's a good one. Right, that's it for this one then, I think. If you found that useful and interesting, give me a thumbs up and a subscribe, I'd appreciate that. And I'll catch you next time then. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.